Here we go. Here we go. Here's the first main talking point I want to go over with this episode is Mac Jones. Mac Jones is one of the biggest winners of this week. Not only because, let's set the scene here, okay? Let's set the scene. First off, there's a lot of the people talking about, I wasn't really expecting to hear this, but a lot of people talking about, Bucks at New England. Okay, Tom Brady's return to Foxborough. This is the biggest game, most important game in NFL history, in regular season history. Biggest game of the 2021 season. First off, that was stupid going into that. I didn't agree with that take at all, and I made that point clear over on Twitter, which of course you can follow us at Fourth Long Radio. It was a dumb narrative. Just because the greatest quarterback of all time is going back to his home doesn't make it the biggest game of all time. There wasn't, if you really look at it, there wasn't a whole lot of importance on this game. Yeah, it would have been great if Bill Belichick could have proved himself and beat his old quarterback. Yeah, it would have been great. Tom Brady goes out. He shows he doesn't need Bill Belichick. He goes out and win the game. Okay? There was no playoff implications on the line. There's no Super Bowl implications on the line. There's not really implications. There is implications towards the future, but nothing really crazy right now. My favorite storyline, though, was Tom Brady going up, matching up against essentially his replacement in Mac Jones. That was what I was more focused on. I didn't care about the whole Brady and Belichick drama. I thought this game was overhyped, and it ultimately really didn't live up to expectations. It wasn't that great of a game, unless you like defense, and unless you like no rushing game, especially with the Patriots, I think the first team since the 2007 Lions to rush for negative yards in the game. They finished with -1 on the day. But I'll get to my point. My point is that Mac Jones is not being talked about. His performance in this game is not being talked about nearly is enough as it should be, because Mac Jones, up to this point, easily the biggest game of his career. He's playing primetime against Tom Brady in this giant atmosphere where tickets are $700-800 at the cheapest, and he outperforms the greatest quarterback, arguably, to play the game. He outperforms Tom Brady. He outpoises Tom Brady at times as well. Brady looked a little bit shook in this game. He looked a little bit mad, especially at times, especially when the fans, which I do respect, those Patriot fans, chanting his name, cheering for him, and then as soon as they come on, as soon as the Bucs offense and Tom Brady comes on for the first drive of the game, they go out and boo him. That was good. That's good. I respect that. But Mac Jones has a career game. He has an interception there. He has a mistake in there. But don't let that take away from how good he looked, because, he finished just stat-wise, almost 80% completion percentage here, 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, of course, the aforementioned interception. He completed at one point in this game 19 straight passes. 19. And the Bucs were bringing the pressure. How else are the Bucs going to win football games? It's going to be with their defense. It's going to be with bringing the house. It's going to be with rushing the quarterback, getting sacks, getting pressures, getting the ball out. The quarterback's hands, trying to force it out, especially with that depleted secondary that won't really be able to cover 3-4 seconds into a play. They're just not that good enough right now. Also show with Richard Sherman, solid, decent game, coming back. But I loved how poised Mac Jones looked under pressure. He knew he was going to take hits. He still got the ball out. He still completed passes. He still made accurate throws. He still made good reads. He still took his time to go from the first to second to third read, even though he was under pressure. That Patriots O-line wasn't too bad that game, but he looked poised in big stage, the brightest lights shining on him in not the best of weather games. He looked good. Tom Brady, on the other hand, he completed about half his passes. Didn't throw for touchdowns. Luckily didn't throw for interceptions. Threw for about 270 yards on the game. And, they kind of got lucky to come away with the win here. I wish Bill Belichick should have gone for it. It was a horrible decision to kick the field goal there. No. Would I question it? Of course I did. Mac Jones, in his performance, point being, overarching point here, Mac Jones needs to be talked about more. Mac Jones, especially from this game, was overhyped or overlooked, overshadowed. And I feel like, especially for how much hype was around this game, as soon as it's over, I feel like everyone's moved on. I haven't really seen that many people talking about this game. If you're going to talk about anything from Sunday, or if you're going to talk a lot of things you're going to talk about, you need to mention Mac Jones. You need to mention how good he looked in this game, especially compared to the GOAT. Especially compared to him. Mac Jones, Rookie of the Week, hands down, and one of the best performances in games of the week, quite frankly.